Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really getting into a fascinating collection of sources, a real mix, all centered around, rethinking wealth, opportunity, and what financial freedom actually means.
Yeah, it's a great set. And our goal here, our mission, is to pull out the key nuggets of knowledge for you.
Right. Thinking about mindset, strategy, and that sort of ripple effect from the money choices you make every day.
hmm
And let's just jump right in with something I think trips a lot of us up, our own psychology around money.
Oh, absolutely. That's a huge one.
Hmm.
One of the biggest hurdles we see is something called loss aversion.
Right.
And it's fascinating how much it affects us. It can make investors, too
Or
cautious.
the opposite, right? Panic
E-
selling when the market dips.
Exactly.
No.
Because the pain of losing actually feels about twice as bad as the pleasure of gaining feels good, psychologically.
Wow. So it's that internal warning system that just shouts louder for losses?
Pretty much.
And the sources we looked at say the key isn't trying to switch that off. It's kind of human nature, right?
You can't really.
But it's about getting a handle on it, shifting your mindset, asking yourself, okay, am I doing this because I'm scared of losing or because my strategy, the data, says it's a good move?
hmm That little shift in perspective, it can really lead to smarter, more confident decisions.
Yeah, definitely.
And speaking of thinking differently, challenging the norm, our sources brought up a really powerful example, Moneyball.
Oh, yeah. I loved this connection. It's not just about baseball.
Not at all. It's really a blueprint for defying, outdated ways of thinking and spotting hidden value.
Okay, so for anyone who hasn't seen the movie or read the book, Moneyball's about Billy Beane. He was the general manager for the Oakland A's baseball team,
Right.
and he totally shook things up using data analytics, sabermetrics, I think they call it.
Sabermetrics, yeah. To build a winning team on a shoestring budget. He basically ignored the traditional scouts and their gut feelings.
Said, we're going with the numbers, finding guys the stats say are undervalued.
And guess what? It worked. Big time. It changed the game. Showed that players others overlooked, if the data backed them up, could deliver huge results.
So the lesson isn't just about baseball, it's much bigger.
Absolutely. It's that data-driven decisions can genuinely beat big budgets and just doing things the way they've always been done.
Finding value where no one else is looking, questioning those assumptions.
Exactly.
It's kind of like watching a scrappy startup take on the corporate giants.
Totally. But with baseball stats being the secret weapon.
So the big idea for you listening is to maybe apply that think beyond tradition thing to your own finances or your career.
Hmm.
What's the conventional wisdom you're just accepting? Where could looking at the data, maybe just your own spending habits, even reveal some kind of undervalued asset?
Yeah. Using logic over just pure emotion. That's the Moneyball lesson for personal finance.
Makes sense. And that kind of thinking, that mindset shift, it flows right into some practical ways to invest that aren't just about beating the market index.
Right. Our sources talk about an award-winning four-step goals-based investing strategy.
Okay, goals-based. How's that different?
Well, instead of just focusing on benchmarks like, did I beat the S&P 500, it prioritizes your actual real-life financial goals.
Like buying a house or kids' education, retirement, that kind of stuff.
Exactly. It gives you a framework to help you actually achieve those specific things by linking your investments directly to them.
That feels much more practical. Investing for something tangible.
It is.
But-
But okay, let's shift gears a bit. Beyond just investing for growth, what if the goal is rethinking consumption itself to free up money that way?
Interesting. Yeah, our sources looked into some alternative approaches there too, like
Yeah.
the Freegan lifestyle.
And the sources are clear.
Yeah.
This isn't about being poor. It's about being frugal, not poor.
Okay.
It's driven more by reducing waste,
Mm.
making sustainable choices,
Yeah.
often involves, finding and using stuff that's been thrown out but is still perfectly good.
Like dumpster diving, but with maybe a broader philosophy behind it.
Sort of, yeah. And the sources mentioned its impact in places like Singapore, how it's making people rethink their buying habits. It really challenges our ideas about what has value.
Definitely makes you think. Okay, but maybe freeganism isn't for everyone. What about more immediate ways to bring in extra cash?
We've got that covered too. The sources highlight 10 side hustles you can start this weekend.
This weekend. Seriously.
That's what they emphasize. And crucially, no experience needed for many of them.
Okay, like what? Give us some examples.
Things like freelance, work through online platforms, finding niche items you can buy cheap and sell for a profit flipping.
Right.
The sources really focus on how to spot those chances and get started quickly, helping you see ways to make extra money, like now.
Good stuff. And what about managing bigger assets? Like property?
Yep, there's the ultimate landlord checklist.
Ah, okay. For anyone thinking about renting out a place.
Exactly. It goes through all the essential steps, the stuff you really need to do before you rent out a home.
Things people might overlook.
Definitely. Safety checks, really thorough tenant screening, legal stuff. It's all about protecting your investment and, making the whole rental thing go smoothly. Less stress.
Crucial. Okay, now, let's get a bit more advanced for folks interested in trading strategies backed by serious data.
Let's do it. Our sources touch on gamma exposure and zero DTE trades.
Right. Sounds complex. Zero DTE means 0 days to expiration options, yeah.
Correct. Super short-term options. Now, think of delta that tells you how much an options price might move if the underlying stock moves $1.
Okay.
Gamma is like the accelerator for delta. It tells you how fast delta itself is going to change.
Ah, okay. So it's the rate of change of the rate of change.
You got it. And with zero DTE options, time is incredibly short, so they are super sensitive to price moves. Understanding gamma becomes critical.
Why critical?
Because it helps traders predict how quickly their potential profit or loss could shift, even with tiny stock price movements. It allows for really precise risk management.
Gotcha. Especially important when things move fast.
Essential. The source even mentioned a small recent profit example, like $190, using these kinds of trades. Enough to, quote, treat my family to a really good meal. Shows the practical side.
Nice. Which brings us to quant research. We hear this term a lot, especially related to things like the super investor club mentioned in the sources. What is it, really?
Quant research is basically using math models, historical data, and computer algorithms to find trading opportunities.
So taking the human emotion, the guesswork out of it.
Precisely. Letting the numbers do the talking.
And the benefit is?
The core idea is to eliminate bias, focus on strategies proven by facts, and hopefully achieve more consistent profits. The sources literally say, no fluff, just results.
I like the sound of that.
But what's really interesting is the message that comes with it. It's not just about winning trades, it's that selectivity and patience matter just as much.
So not trading constantly.
Right. Success comes from steady, data-backed growth, following what the data indicates over time, not jumping in every day. Discipline and evidence.
Makes a lot of sense. Patience and process. Okay, shifting gears again slightly. I love this little nugget from the sources about surprising value. Did you see the bit about the world's most expensive postage that won't mail a thing?
Huh. Yes. It's amazing, isn't it?
It really is. How something tiny like a scamp can be worth millions just because of its rarity, its history, its unique story. Nothing to do with its original function.
It's a perfect example of how scarcity and context create incredible value.
Yeah.
Kind of echoes that Moneyball idea of finding value where others don't see it.
Yeah. Maybe we should all start checking our attics, huh? You never know.
Might be worth a look.
And finally, I wanted to touch on something more personal that came through in the sources from a section called Take This With You. The person behind these insights shared a bit about their own journey, feeling stuck in a cycle of hesitation, afraid to take risks, step out of their comfort zone with money.
That resonates with a lot of people, I think.
Totally. But the motivation was powerful, wanting to give my family a better life.
That's a strong driver.
Absolutely. And that became the purpose behind sharing all this knowledge to empower people, empower you listening, to explore different ways to earn, to make financial decisions with more confidence, to really change your relationship with money.
It really boils down to that simple idea. Knowledge is power.
It truly is. Seeing how someone turned their own hesitation into action, driven by that goal, is pretty inspiring.
Definitely. It shows what's possible when you move from insight to actually doing something.
Exactly. So as we wrap up this deep dive, just remember, every financial choice you make, big or small, it sends out ripples. And understanding how your mindset, that psychology we started with, interacts with solid strategy. That's the key to really shaping the future you want.
Well said.
So maybe think about this. What opportunities might you be overlooking right now in your own life or finances just because you're sticking to the conventional path?
Yeah, where's your hidden value? Where could you apply a bit of that Moneyball thinking or that data-driven approach?
What could you uncover if you just looked at things differently?
Always worth asking.
And speaking of looking at things differently, next time we're diving into something really interesting. How being a faceless YouTuber could be a viable income stream.
Oh, interesting. For introverts, maybe.
Exactly. Perfect for anyone who wants to create content without actually being on camera. You won't want to miss it.